Hey guys, it's Bub here, and in this video we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at the GeForce RTX 3070 Ti XC3 by EVGA. I've waited over 2 years for this graphics card, so I'm extremely excited to open it up and install it in my computer. Without any further ado, let's open the box and get it installed. The first thing we have to do is of course break the 2 tape seals that are on the top of the 3070 Ti's box. I just did this with a screwdriver I'll be using to install this card in my computer. Once the tape has been cut and the tab is out of the box, we can reach in and pull out the 3070 Ti, which is enclosed in a plastic enclosure. This is my first look at my brand new graphics card, which I've waited 2 years for. Inside of the plastic enclosure, we get the EVGA installation guide and of course the card itself. I personally love the design of this card. Even though I really wanted a 3070 Founders Edition, I still like the design of this card. The first thing I'm going to do before even installing this card in my computer is peel off all of the plastic on this card to make sure that it doesn't overheat and nothing gets damaged once it's installed in my machine. Now that all the plastic is off of this card, it's time to get it installed. Before I install the card, I'm going to do a test fit so I know exactly which parts of the case I have to take out. And of course, aligning it with the PCIe Gen 3 slot on my motherboard, I found out I have to take out 2 of the slots on my case. So, that's exactly what I did. Now it's time to finally insert the 3070 Ti into the PCIe slot. I've never actually installed a graphics card this big inside of a machine before, so doing this was a little bit intimidating. However, it snapped right in place, I felt the lock in place, and it was all good to go. Now it's time to screw the GPU back in using the 2 screws that we got from removing the slots, and then screw back in this piece on the back of my case. Since my power supply is modular, I'm going to go ahead and remove it so I have access to the back. Once I had the power supply removed from my case, I went ahead, flipped the computer back around, and plugged in PCIe power to the graphics card. I'm not really happy with the way my Corsair cables look here. I don't know if it would have been better to run 2 cables instead of 1. However, this is something I'm definitely going to revisit in the future, whether it's buying a new cable, modifying this one, or something like that, as in my opinion, the way that this turned out looks kind of messy and kind of ugly. However, it works for now. Once both 8-pin connectors were connected, I went ahead and ran that power cable down through the bottom of my case, and then flipped the case around and pulled it through. Of course, it's now finally time to plug the graphics card power into my dusty power supply. I made sure that when I built this computer that I bought a little bit over what I actually needed, and I'm so glad I did, because the 3070 requires a 650 watt power supply, so I bought a 750 just in case. And I'm glad that I did because I believe the 3070 Ti uses more power. However, now we can find the PCIe, which is right next to the 4-pin CPU, and then plug it in, insert the power supply back into the case, and then simply screw that power supply right back in. I can now reinstall both the side and the front panel on the machine, and then we can hook it up and test the 3070 Ti to make sure that I didn't mess anything up and that I don't need to tweak any BIOS settings. Just look at how good that 3070 looks inside of my glass front panel. Besides the fact that the cables don't look as good as I would have liked them to, I am extremely happy with how this turned out. And this is the moment of truth to see if we finally get a display output. For me, this was exactly like just building a brand new computer and praying that it works, because essentially I had just finished my PC, which basically took me 2 years to finish because of the graphics card issues. And finally, we got an MSI logo, it booted up, and we were in the lock screen of Windows 11. Judging just by all the transparency effects and the non-rounded corners in Windows 11, it was obviously apparent that graphics drivers were not installed. I was curious to see if it was using a basic display adapter or if it was still trying to use UHD 630's graphics, but no, it was still using the basic display adapter. So of course, now it's time to go try and find drivers for the 3070 Ti. I originally thought I had to download them from the NVIDIA website, however it turns out EVGA does actually offer them from their website, so I went ahead and downloaded it there. However, while I was in the middle of downloading drivers for the 3070 Ti, my screen flickered, and I had transparency effects and everything. So it appeared like they automatically installed through Windows Update, which I thought was only a new system thing and not an upgraded system thing, but I'm glad that they actually downloaded. So now we can run some benchmarks and test out some games. The first game I'm testing is, of course, Minecraft. Now this is 1.8.9 with Optifine and a few other PvP mods, and overall it's running okay. I kind of expected it to run a little bit better for some reason, but of course this is fancy with 17 render distance, and it wouldn't let me go full screen for some reason, which is really weird. But the one thing that I really love about this computer is I can run with shaders. I always wanted to run Minecraft with shaders, and I finally am able to. I mean, it's very playable. Like you can see, I was playing high-pixel duels, and it was more than playable with shaders on, which is something I never thought I would be able to say. And overall, I'm very happy with the performance on Minecraft, even regular Java Minecraft. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Next up really isn't a performance test, but more or less something I really wanted to try for a long time, and that is, of course, RTX On. RTX On is ray tracing live, and I always thought it was pretty cool on Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and so here I am trying it out. Because it's raining, and for some reason I couldn't get the rain to stop, you can't really see the effects of the sun, but you can see the effects on the water and just how smooth and amazing the water looks. And even when I set the time to night, you can see the light coming off of those lanterns. Overall, real-time ray tracing is definitely something that I really love and look forward to using a lot on this RTX 3070 Ti. And the next game that we're going to be trying is the most intensive game that I believe exists right now. Way more intensive than Minecraft. Yes, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Now, all the settings on this are set to medium, so they're not at the highest settings, but personally, I am honestly okay with medium. As you can see here, going into general options, everything is set to medium. Here are all of my MSFS settings. Honestly, they're not that good, but they're not that bad either. So I'm going to go ahead and take off from the runway in this Boeing 747, and I mean, everything renders very well. It looks extremely good like it would, and the 3070 Ti, while it does get a little hot while playing this game, it runs perfectly fine. It can render everything at a very stable frame rate, even at 1440p. I'm incredibly happy with how this card runs, and this is a very fun game. And that is my NVIDIA RTX 3070 Ti unboxing and review. I never thought I'd be able to make this video after waiting really 2 years to buy this graphics card. However, I'm so glad that I did, because this is an amazing card that pairs very well with my hardware. Let me know in the comments down below if you're waiting for a 3070 or any 30 series card, or if you've been lucky enough to already get one. I'm really interested to see how the people have their hands on these cards. With that being said, if you liked this video, make sure to like it and subscribe if you're new around here, as I do all kinds of different technology videos, including device restorations. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.